today in the church we remember the fathers of the first six ecumenical councils. But I want to talk a little bit more broadly about ecumenical councils, because I think that sometimes we lose track of where we're supposed to be in the church. You know, it took from the first council, 325, to the seventh ecumenical council, 787, to really formulate what we believe. Our belief, the Mother of God, for example, the Creed, how we pray in the church. All of these things were established for us by the fathers of the church. And those fathers who came to the church were bishops that were called from all over the world. Some of them took months to get to wherever the council was going to be held, either in Nicaea or Constantinople or Ephesus. Long times. And then they spent months in those councils going through things, putting things together, and then distributing it, take it back out again to the far reaches of the church. I have a hard time when there are bishops, and in more particular priests, who think that they can change what the councils gave us, to change what the Holy Fathers died for, and to tell us that we should do something differently. I was reading a commentary yesterday, and it was a little disturbing because it was two Orthodox metropolitans who were talking about the Eighth Ecumenical Council as being something that really wasn't really real, but rather was something dealing with modern times. Modern times in the 9th century? Those weren't very modern times. The modern times are now, and this is a problem in translating some of these works, is that we take the language of that time and we transpose it into the language of today, and they can mean two completely different things. That's why translators have to be very careful and have to be double checked on what the meaning is from what they're translating to what they're giving us to read. So this is why we should only have the services in Greek. I'm just kidding. It's a problem. You know, in today's world, we're being pulled, all kinds of different ways to be more relevant as a country. Political correctness, there's no such thing. Immoral righteousness is the only way. The other problem is that we have what I call the oinos. And those are the Orthodox in name only, who purport to be Orthodox but don't fast on Wednesdays and Fridays. They don't go to confession. They live lives outside of the church, but they come to attend once in a while, and I think they fulfill their obligation. I remember over the years that I had parishioners who would come to confession once a year, and they'd say, I'm coming to do my obligation. I always kind of laughed. Obligation? Well, I have to go to confession once a year. What's the rule for confession? Every time you sin, you go to confession, right? We don't do that, so we make that a little bit longer periods, and we try to build it up a little bit. And the more often you need to go, of course, it's there for you. But to think that's my obligation once a year, and what did you do all year long? We want to stand fast in what the church has given us. We want to become fanatics, because that also is not good and healthy in the church. The fanaticism, a certain way, you have to make sure you bow down until you're 3 inches from the floor, and someone's down there measuring the 3 inches. You have to make sure that when you come into the church, you have to bow a certain number of times, and before you kiss the icon a certain number of times. There is an order to that. But there can be a fanaticism to doing things too. You need to do things piously. And the fathers of the church were pious men who gave us what we have today. Many of which who were tortured, some who later on were killed because of what they were purporting. Even during this time of that period of time between the 7th and the 8th Ecumenical Council, Pope Nicholas of Rome had already discounted the filioque, already at that time. He said, no, it wasn't appropriate. And of course, he was condemned by the followers in Rome. Already by then, they were following, wanting to change what the fathers had already established in the first 7 councils. If you have questions about why we do things, we have answers for that. Don't do them on your own.